Treasury's best case assumptions in the July budget update were quickly derailed. We had Victoria's lockdown extended and new border closures come into play. How confident can you be in next week's budget assumptions as the country reopens again, and how vital is it that once states do open, they stay open?
Oh, on the last point, I mean, absolutely important, and that's why we have to be patient about the process we're currently engaged in. We do not want to see a third wave in Victoria or a second wave anywhere else in the country. And so that's why getting it right and making sure the testing, tracing and the outbreak containment measures are totally up to the mark, and to ensure that it can contain any outbreaks that may occur. And it wouldn't be surprising to see other cases occur as states and territories open up. But as New South Wales has demonstrated, you can do that and keep your economy open. And I think New South Wales, as I've said on many occasions, provides the gold standard about how you actually achieve this. In relation to the budget numbers themselves, I mean, Australia's in as good a position, if not better than most, to be able to assess where our finances will go and how our economy will perform. But we are living in the most uncertain times any of us have seen in trying to get an understanding of what these numbers will be. I think what we've seen over the last 4 or 5 months backed up the wisdom of having the budget now, not in May. It would have been a very different budget in May. I'm sure Matthias would agree, to what we are now handing down next week. And it was wise to be patient, to not rush, to ensure we better understood what was happening with COVID-19 and our capacity to deal with it. Now, Australia has been able to balance both the health and the economic objectives better than almost every other country in the world today, certainly every other developed country. I mean, as I said, only Norway, economies like Taiwan, then countries like South Korea and Finland as well, I could probably add to that list, have been able to combine these dual objectives as well as Australia has. But that said, we're in the same global economy as everyone else. Australia's economy, we can do everything we can to boost it here in Australia through the measures that will be in next week's budget and the JobMaker plan over the next 5 years. But we will also be vulnerable to the global economy. There's a 4.5% fall this year, 45 times worse than the GFC. And that's something to reflect on. So, in that environment, I think Treasury's task, and the Reserve Bank's task for that matter, the OECD and others, their task is very, very difficult. And so that's what we'll know next week. And if circumstances change again in the future, as you've seen the government do, we've quickly come together, considered any changes that are necessary, and we've acted. And that's what you've seen for the last 6 months. That's what Australians will continue to see.